So you just saw that number in the title. $2,500 per single video. And if you're like most editors watching this, you're probably thinking, yeah right, my clients will never pay that. Well, I'm about to show you the exact 4-pillar framework that I use to raise my prices to this level. And keep in mind that I started out exactly like every other editor, charging $50 per video and chasing low-paying clients. The framework is going to be from a live workshop we had inside Full-Time Editor, where I broke down each pillar step by step. And the coolest part, editors in there who are all working towards that 5 to 10K per month mark, just like you, got to ask me questions about their specific situations. So chances are, whatever you're struggling with, it actually gets addressed in the workshop you're about to see right now. So let's dive in. But yeah, why client relationships? Why building relationships and making clients glaze you and really want to work with you is important is because you become irreplaceable when you do that. My main client that I've been working with for almost 2 years at this point, we started working together. I was getting paid $700 per video. And by just building this relationship, by becoming irreplaceable, I managed to raise that to 2.5K per video eventually. And now I'm even like a proper team member with like a salary and everything inside their business. So first of all, the increase in rate per video, 700 to 2.5K, is like more than 3 times. But also, I'm sure you see all these kids on Twitter who didn't even make anything of themselves in video editing, but they already want to start an agency or something, and somehow that's supposed to magically make 50K a month. Basically, I think video editing is just an awesome vehicle to get inside a really good profitable business, because you can become irreplaceable by being a video editor, by being a good video editor, and then positioning yourself correctly kind of within that business. And yeah, I'm gonna share 4 pillars that I think are gonna build you a rock solid client relationships today. But first, I want you guys to put in the chat what are the main things that right now you're struggling when it comes to specifically client relationships. So not when it comes to finding clients or landing clients, but once you already have the client, what are the struggles there? Making the videos kind of slow, maybe it's because I have very new clients. We're gonna talk about deadlines, and honestly, you might just have a mindset shift around the whole idea, and maybe that's gonna help you, Marty. Understanding their deepest pain points, what do they actually want? We're gonna talk about that as well. Raising prices. Yeah, raising prices honestly just comes after you implement this whole stuff for long enough, basically. And then, like I said, you become irreplaceable and you can just ask for whatever, because it's literally easier for the client to pay what you're asking for rather than, rejecting that and going out and finding a new editor. Managing expectations and deadlines too. I would say that's going to be communication. So yeah, we're definitely gonna touch on all these topics today. And the first pillar out of 4 is gonna be the foundation of everything, is to never miss a deadline. Because if you do everything else that we're gonna talk about, but you miss deadlines, then all that stuff just doesn't matter. Honestly, most editors don't understand why deadlines are so important. And I didn't either up until June last year. So June last year, I'm working with this client who I ended up raising, prices a lot and everything. We had a new video for a new format. And you know me, I'm super big on quality over quantity, on over delivering, on all these things. So I was just insanely excited about this new video. Just because it seemed so cool, like new format, a lot of footage. The idea is actually really good. I was gonna make that video the best video ever on YouTube ever created. And what happened was that I just missed the deadline by a week or something. It was actually something really bad. And the client just said this phrase that stuck in my head, and it felt so bad hearing it phrase, but I'm glad I heard it just because it totally shifted my mindset. So the phrase was something around along the lines of, we're paying you this much money per video and you're still missing deadlines. and they were paying me 2K per video at the time. And I just thought to myself, like, genuinely, I'm getting paid 2K per video and I can't even deliver the video in time. And it made me rethink things. So why editors don't understand why deadlines are important is because we as editors, we enjoy editing and we are creative and we want to make the best video possible, especially since you're in this community and all these things. But for clients, if you deliver a 90% video, a video that's 90% there in time, is so much better than delivering a perfectly finished, refined video, but being like 3 days later than missed deadline. That's because honestly, over delivering and taking video to that 100% is quite selfish. You gain there way more than the client because what you get by over delivering is, first of all, you get to improve your skills. Second of all, you get to post that video on Twitter. And third of all, you improve the relationship with the client because the client is going to notice that the video turned out pretty good. But the thing is, it's just not worth for them if they miss the upload schedule. Like, missing the upload schedule is the worst thing that can happen to these successful businesses. Nowadays, every single business is a media business basically, and all the media businesses depend on just the content that they put out. And missing upload schedule is just genuinely makes them lose money. So that's really the last thing we want to do. We here are trying to make more money. And if we make our clients lose money, then it's not going to help us make more money. That's for sure. Editors are always a bottleneck in, like I said, content media businesses, just because post-production takes the most amount of time. So it's always you who are kind of holding the video back from being released and from the client starting to make money from that video, if that makes sense. So I think just having this mindset shift of deadlines aren't there for just fun, but they're actually essential, and clients lose money if they aren't posting videos is really important. Like, it genuinely changed my perspective on this whole idea. And Timu, you mentioned what's clients' biggest pain point. I can tell you, for high-paying clients, it's editors who deliver good videos on time. They just can't find consistent editors who are going to deliver consistent quality consistently on time. So that was basically everything regarding deadlines. Do you guys have any questions regarding any of this, or maybe you want to share your personal experience with deadlines, how you missed it once and now you aren't missing it, or what's your perspective? Feel free to unmute yourself as well.
I have a question. Like, I think like over delivering, for example, if you have a deadline like 5 days and you deliver on fourth day, it's quite good. But if you deliver on the third day, it means that you had a time and you just kind of half-assed it.
I know what you mean, yeah. First of all, you have to account for revisions. So that's something you always need to be mindful of.
Mhm.
If the client is planning to post the video in 5 days, I mean, you need to discuss it beforehand. You just need to, they need to let you know, or you need to let them, or you need to ask them how much time you're going to need for revisions. Basically, you need to just account for that. So if, let's say, they plan to post the video in 5 days, then actually delivering in 3 would be good, because then you're going to have time for revisions. That's, something I would do. Just send them the first draft on day 3, say something like, it's good for you to review, it's 80% there. After your revisions, I'm just going to take it to the 100%, and the video is going to be good to be posted in 2 days. But to your point, yeah, if they want to specifically receive the first draft in 5 days, then probably delivering in 3, you might as well over deliver. Like I said, over delivering benefits you way more than the client, just because mostly you get to improve. And we're going to talk about this a bit later, where you improve with every single video in terms of the quality, and that actually improves the relationship a ton. You build up this leverage for yourself, where then you're going to be able to ask for more money. So over delivering is beneficial for you. So if you have extra time, you might as well. Would you say that kind of answers your question?
Yes, yes. I think you should have this balance. Like you don't have to send the video too early, and you don't have to send the video on the last minute of the deadline.
Last minute before the deadline is fine because that's what the client was accounting for anyway. Just make sure that the deadline that the client set to you isn't when the video should be posted, but the one where they just want to have the first draft. So if you send the first draft there in time, then that's all good. But if they plan to post the video tonight and or like at 12 a.m. and you send it at 23:59, then yeah, that's not really gonna work out. Right, Marty, what do you have to say?
Yeah. So for me, my clients aren't giving me like deadlines. I kind of choose the deadline. I'm trying to like not make it like over 2 weeks. So when I start working with a new client, I kind of work slow. To this point of my like editing journey, I always like was looking for over delivering. Like even if I like give the video a week after the deadline. So I don't know if it's because of that or is it because of like the new clients.
So I think you work slow because of the combination, because it's a new client and because you don't have a tight deadline. If you don't have a tight deadline, just set yourself a deadline, kind of say to the client that I'm gonna have this video done by, whatever. And that date should be sooner than the actual deadline. So that should help you work faster, but at the same time, like in your scenario, I would say you're getting paid shit ton of money for videos, and I think for you, I don't want to say even if you're being unproductive while editing, you're still making progress, but I kind of do want to say that because at the stage you're at where you're already getting paid like 1.5K per video, you're just gonna make the most amount of money per month if you make a lot of those videos, and you are gonna make a lot of those videos when you get fast at editing that specific type of video. So you just basically need to spend as much time editing that specific type of videos as possible, and then you're just gonna get fast, and then you're just gonna edit 8 videos in a month and make 10K.
I kind of don't want to rush it because I feel if I try to rush it, I'll just like ruin like kind of every video because I'm gonna focus about like the kind of the speed and not that much about the quality. Kind of right now I have like a balance, but right now for like every first video for like a new client, I kind of have like this pressure in me that like if the video is not that good, kind of the client will just not gonna want to work with me for the next video. So I think that's why I always like kind of do the first video slow, and then when I see that okay he didn't leave me, that then like I really like start optimizing, and actually like my creativity actually then turns always in the second video, like my creativity turns on because like I know okay this client actually like trusts me.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's a really good point actually. Now that I remember your first video, I'm always like that as well, where I just try to make it pixel perfect just so the client kind of likes it. But I think a hack there is to edit the intro first and then to just send it off to the client right away for them to kind of approve. Because I remember I literally had this scenario where I thought the intro was made as hell, and I thought the client wouldn't even want to work with me, but I sent it off to the client and they were like, "Oh damn, this is amazing. Just keep going, keep doing what you're doing."
It was the same for me with the recent video I told you about, like the video. I was like, okay, it's kind of like meat, but the client liked it, so he told me that he's recording a new video for me. So
Yeah, I think with the first video, it's mainly just in your head the fact that you think client isn't gonna like it, but in reality, also I can tell you that clients are, especially people who pay a lot of money, they're way less skeptical about everything. Like all the stuff you think is gonna go wrong, most likely it's not actually gonna go wrong. But you are getting paid this amount of money you're getting paid for that reason, for you to have those thoughts oh, I better make this really good because it might go wrong. It's just in reality it doesn't really go wrong. Jason, bro, please, you're making me uncomfortable with these big muscles. You're making me gonna want to go to the gym. Yep, that's true. Sometimes I procrastinate due to the self-imposed pressure of delivering a kick-ass video for a new client.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm looking for ideas and I'm like trying to do something good, but most of the time I just like sit in front of my computer and just like, okay, but is this good enough? Let me think about something better. And I spent like fucking 2 days on the intro.
Yeah, so it's the exact thing that happened to me here where I shared this like, story where basically I missed the deadline by a week. I guess just make the video work first and then make it fancy later is the best advice. Just make sure it's watchable because most likely you're sitting there and it kind of goes against the advice of make the intro first and send it off to the client. But yeah, I don't know, it's just like a fine balance, I guess.
Exactly. Like I hate doing the intro first because like I always like giving my best on the intros, and it's so strange when I know that okay, I'm gonna take 2-3 days to make the intro very good, but then I have the rest of the video. I'm kind of panicking because okay,
Yeah,
then I need
so
to like
I think you should just give yourself one day there. Say to the client something like, "Yo, since this is our first video, I'm gonna get the intro to you first for you to approve it, if that's okay, and I'm gonna do that by tomorrow end of day."
all right, I'm gonna message him.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Luca, I recommend editing intros the last, except when you work on the first video for the client, because then it's not gonna happen so that you edit the whole video and the client just kind of like doesn't like the whole thing. It shouldn't happen if you discuss the style and everything prior to that, but just to avoid it, yeah, Marty says it happened to him. So just to avoid it, if it's the first video, send the intro and then the client is going to get the vibe of the whole thing and just give you green light for the rest of the video, and then you're going to end up saving a bunch of time. After I did the whole video, I just blocked the client. Yeah, that's probably the best advice on client relationships you can get. Just block them. All right, pillar 2, save them time. What you have to understand is, let's actually start off with this. Basically, the people that you want to be working on, people who make a bunch of money, they value their time very highly, not just because they have a bunch of ego, but because it's actually true. Like their time is very valuable. So again, Timu, just going back to your thing of you can't identify client pain points, I would say one of the biggest pain points when people hire editors is that they just want to save themselves time, because it takes, first of all, if they edit the videos themselves, then that's just totally unreasonable. It takes like 15 hours at least to edit a video. But if they have a shitty editor, then they're going to be spending maybe not 15 but 10 hours doing all the revisions and all the communications that can be avoided if you are just being smart. And how to be smart is to, first of all, treat revisions like coaching, because that is coaching. When clients spends their time in general on you, most likely that's going to come through revisions, but that can be communication in general and just kind of trying to explain something. See it as them investing into you, not financially, not just necessarily, paying you money, but investing their time, which is valuable for people who make a bunch of money. I can also tell you that giving revisions is annoying as hell. Like it genuinely takes hours. So if you look at it from the perspective of, okay, the client spent 2 hours reviewing this video, and now there are 2 scenarios. The smart editor is gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna get defensive here. I actually didn't do some of the things correctly. Let me learn from these revisions and make sure I don't make these mistakes in the future. But the not so smart editor is gonna get defensive, not gonna learn from the revisions, will just get it done just to get paid, and will do the same mistakes on the next video. And what's gonna happen is client is gonna start reviewing that video, and they will realize that, oh shit, not only I'm paying this guy 500 for the actual video, but also I would need to spend 2 hours reviewing each and every video, because this editor just doesn't learn from revisions, and that's worth another 4K in my time. That's just crazy. Like it's just not gonna make sense for the client to work with you, and they're gonna drop you. So the more you can save them time, the better. it also comes to the point of learning and adapting. So most, I would say, obvious things would be to just try to pick up their style as soon as possible, because, and again, it's gonna, if you can pick up the style yourself. So if you open up YouTube and look through existing videos on their channel, or you look through references that the client gave you and actually like take notes, understand what the client wants to see in the videos, instead of them going out and teaching you, spending their time, that's better because you're saving them time by doing it yourself. Another thing can be understanding their target audience, for example, and how then you're going to utilize that in editing is, if let's say you're getting several hours of footage and you need to cut it down to like 10 to 15 minute YouTube video, then you would just leave stuff in the video that's interesting specifically to the target audience. But if you're editing, let's say, scripted videos, then that would be tweaking texts or words you use in your video so that they resonate with target audience, or even including memes if you're editing for like, you know, some brain rot younger guys, including memes that resonate with target audience instead of something like very sophisticated or something. It also includes stuff, if you get a chance to help them out with scripts, thumbnails, and ideas, then do that, because you, first of all, you're gonna end up saving them time after you actually become, you know, after you pick up how to do scripts, thumbnails. I never personally helped out with thumbnails, but I think scripts is a really good one. And also, if you were on coaching calls, group coaching calls, then you might have heard about it. But basically, I do this thing a lot where I would just ask clients to record something. So what I would do is I would just pull up, can you see this? Cool. I would just pull up a Google Doc and be like, this is the voiceover lines that you need to record, because this, you know, I need these voiceover lines just because I can't even write at this point. Anyway, these are the voiceover lines that are gonna make the video better, and I don't want client to be wasting their time doing revisions. Instead, I just want them to save brain power and time and do that for them. Really, all they need to do is to just say these words out loud. That, like, it doesn't get easier than that. And I would say, Marty, to like answer the big picture of your question, where when you asked how do you make your clients glaze you, I would say it's just small stuff like that. Mainly, really, is just saving them time and making it for them as easy as possible to work with me. I would say that's like the biggest source. Go ahead, speak up.
Yeah, like for there was like a video for the new client. I literally helped him with thumbnail, title, everything, like footage, like shooting, everything. And he just didn't review the video. He was like, I'm just posting it.
Yeah,
He didn't care.
that's literally the best. That's like genuinely the goal of this whole thing, where I guess you end up becoming more than an editor, but in my opinion, that just sounds a bit corny and cringe. You just end up providing awesome service to the client, where you take care of the whole pre-production, which is just awesome. But what if the revisions are actually back and forth? Like first client says do this, and then after the change, it's like, I don't like it, change it back to how it was. Not gonna lie, with really good clients, that usually doesn't happen. But if that happened to you, then it just means that if the client asks you to do something similar on the next video, then you just tell them, yo, last video, this thing happened, and, you know, I'm not trying to be annoying and waste your time by just kind of resenting your revisions, but this is like genuinely what happened, and I think this situation is very similar. So let me know if you actually want to do this, because also, in my opinion, it's not really going to improve the video. Does that make sense, Timo? Alright, sweet.
Yeah, I had this experience where I was trying to implement a new thing for the next video. And when I did it, I knew that they will question it or kind of be confused at it. So when I sent the first draft, I did kind of little explanation why I did that and why it would perform well. And they were like, okay, I got it now.
Can you give a bit more context on what that thing was?
So I edited one video with the silences. They did revisions like cut the silence out. But the video was like very monotonous. And for the next video, I did the explanation that this is because to give the viewer time to reflect on the video and get the information actually from the video, not just watch it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good approach. Because basically what you did is you made the video better for the viewer, not necessarily better for an editor or something like that. Because sometimes editors would, again, it just comes back to seeing things from our perspective, which is different from clients' perspective, from editors or from viewers' perspective. But editors would, because we're creative and we love to like do cool stuff, they would create some crazy animations that just make the video confusing and kind of make the viewer experience worse, and then try to explain that to the client, but it just doesn't work because at the end of the day you made the video worse. So if you're making the video better for the viewer, which is the main thing, then yeah, I think it's a really good approach to kind of like you said, if you feel like they're gonna do a revision, just leave like a little note there explaining why you did it.
Yeah, and also I had this experience like in the first videos, when I was doing the first videos, I was asking him about the channel and future plans a lot. And I was kind of trying to give some tips to him. And it ended up like after like 2-3 weeks, he was asking me something about his content.
That's sick. That goes back to what I said here. Just again, sounds very, I don't like this phrase, but becoming more than an editor. I think that sounds so cringe, I swear. What you're trying to do is to just make the client succeed, and that's the main thing. Like if you have that goal, then all this stuff is gonna kind of come naturally, honestly.
We're at the second slide of the presentation. It's so good right now, bro. It's so helpful.
Damn, let's go. I really appreciate it. Yeah, boys, can we just get a vibe check in the chat? On a scale from 1 to 5, how good is the presentation so far? Let's go. Nice, yeah, awesome. Everybody's at 5 as well. Sweet, really appreciate you. So, on to the next thing. Communication and vibe. I feel like this is kind of under-discussed in general, but it is important. Essentially, the whole idea of communication and vibe is you want to become friends with your clients just because that's really the only way you're gonna work long term, and if you wanna, be eventually on their team and everything else, that's the only way you're gonna end up there. But there is a very important but in becoming friends with clients, and that is to separate when you talk about business and when you just chit-chatting, kind of like friends talking to each other. The worst thing you can do is to cover times when you mess up by trying to chit-chat. So you missed a deadline and then you just say something like, "Oh, my bad." That's not gonna work out. You need to, when it's business talk, you get serious and you actually get straight to the point. You talk about what needs to get done. When you're having small talk before that or afterwards, or you just randomly have this kind of common hobby or something like that, then yeah, sure, you can just be human, and how to win friends and influence people helps there. And calls with that definitely help, because what's going to happen on calls is usually you're going to hop on a call and you're going to have a bit of just like warm up where you kind of small talk, and that's the time when you can be friendly. You can ask stuff about just anything from how was their holiday, or did they move into the new house successfully, or how was, I don't know, their date that they told you like a week ago. Again, how to win friends and influence people. Just be a normal human being, honestly, there. And as long as you're that, as long as you're pleasant to be around, then they would love to keep working with you, as long as you're not messing up business talk. But another thing is, I genuinely see, I'm not kidding, I know two examples where editors, let's say your client is a fitness coach, and you would just ask them out of the blue, build me a gym routine or something. That is just insane. Like, they're hiring you for the purpose of you saving their time and making their life easier. And if you just give them random side quests of, let me start this other business, or help me get jacked and do like a meal plan for me or something, that's not going to work out. Remember why this whole thing is happening is because you're trying to help them. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Again, it's just super common sense. I just genuinely know two, like I've heard two stories like that where editors would ask that from their clients. Marty, you want to say something?
I have two stories that I know editors ask their clients for money for loans.
I mean, honestly, it makes more sense than asking them for a workout plan, but yeah, you still don't want to do that. You just honestly need to have a bit of common sense there and understand that still there are boundaries. Like, you're not best friends, or you're not total buddies where you can just do, talk about anything. But just being friendly helps a lot. I know someone who asked their client to meet up. I mean, honestly, meeting up isn't too bad of an idea, because what has happened to me is you usually end up talking about that. Like, if you're on calls and stuff, then you would obviously ask each other, oh, where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you travel? Where do you travel? And then you're gonna end up, oh yeah, if you came to my city, then that would be sick. We would definitely meet up, and that never happens. But if it does, then that's actually pretty cool. Oh yeah, and another hack that I actually started doing quite recently, but I feel like, I guess it's just helpful in general, and why also Kolbs help a lot with this, is basically figuring out stuff like their birthdays and life events. So with life events, they're just gonna, if you do something from How to Win Friends and Influence People, they're gonna end up telling you a bit about their life, like stuff that they're up to, stuff like that. And then you just kind of follow up on that. That ends up building a better connection. Birthdays, honestly, you can just ask, like, it's not even that random. Just at the beginning of a call, oh, by the way, I was just wondering, when's your birthday? Like, it's not weird at all, in my opinion, if you ask that. And then you just put that in your calendar and you kind of send them happy birthday. The same thing with holidays, like there was July 4th recently. Personally, I have no idea what July 4th even is, because I'm just haven't been to the US. But my client is from the US, so I kind of said happy July 4th, because I don't know, apparently that's a big thing over there. Marty,
Yeah, I want to say, like, I don't know if I read this from How to Influence and Influence People. I'm pretty sure, but for the birthdays, that shit actually helps a lot. Like, I think my best connections with like the editors and friends that I still talk with, that I gained like a lot of like value from them and help. They started like talking with me even more after I say, "Hey, bro, happy birthday!" From nowhere, bro. We didn't like talk for like weeks, and from nothing, "Hey, bro, happy birthday." Because like for me, not a lot of like people just tell me like happy birthday, because I don't know. I just want to be like kind of private about it. I don't like posting stuff on my stories and stuff like that. So if anybody like says happy birthday to me, it's like, okay, this person actually cares about me or something like that. So yeah.
it's a good point. Yeah, I never post about my birthday on his story as well. I think that's so weird. I have a friend who does that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, but it's so cool. You get all this attention. It's basically a day of free attention." And I'm, what? That makes no sense. Why would you do it? Like, all these randoms just congratulating you. Not
I think who you're talking about, if it's an editor.
yeah, you probably know.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Are we good on communication and vibe? Okay. So last thing, 1% better every video sounds cliche AF, I know, but it is so very true. Kind of the same thing with deadlines. If you don't do this, everything else probably won't matter, although I would say deadlines are more kind of essential. 1% better every video isn't gonna necessarily, or it's gonna help build this relationship, that's first of all, for sure, a lot, but also it's gonna benefit you if you want to land other clients, higher paying clients, and improve your skills. So that is awesome. Same format, different quality. It's just a personal story where again, with this client, we started really consistently working together last February. So it was February 2024, and up until February 2025, it was just me editing videos that are very similar to each other by their nature. And honestly, there was no nudge from the client to improve the quality or something like that. Mainly, like all they genuinely cared about is that I just get videos out on time. And I raised my price to 2K per video back in like March. So at the very beginning of this kind of period where I was working on a bunch of these videos. So I really didn't have to improve quality with every single video. We have Ali joining. Ali, what's up? You're almost on time, man.
My sleep schedule is fire, bro.
Okay, anyway, I was just talking about I really didn't need to make these videos better, but what ended up happening is I did just for the sake of, like I said, I feel like it's genuinely fun. As editors, we're creatives and we want to make our work look and feel good. So yeah, I ended up doing that, and the client actually complimented me so many times on this specific thing, that it's effortless for them, but the production quality is getting better every time, and they aren't even lifting a finger. So that's awesome, and how to do that is to just by improving something. It can be anything. It genuinely, if you just do the smallest thing with every single video, over time it's gonna compound, and the videos are gonna look entirely different. Cuts, music, visuals, sound effects, anything. And actually a really cool hack here is to also, two hacks actually, that are like complete sauce. First hack is to rewatch the videos that you've edited. If you're working with a client for a long period of time, rewatch the videos that you've edited at least, like I would say, a couple of weeks to a month ago, is a good time point, because you're gonna get out of the editor's mindset where you're just gonna remember every frame of that video because this is the video that you're working on right now, and you're gonna be looking at it more from the viewer's perspective, and all the things that are off, you're gonna immediately see them. Like, this should have stayed on screen for, another half a second, or this cut is kind of off, this silence just felt way too awkward, it should have been a bit shorter. All these things like that, you're gonna notice them immediately, and on the next videos you can fix them, and by that you're just gonna improve probably even more than 1%. So first hack was to rewatch videos that you have just recently edited, but not too recently and not too old. And the second hack is to look at YouTube comments. It is not, you aren't gonna be finding good stuff there all the time, but to me it did happen where the biggest kind of shift from YouTube comments was that I genuinely started noticing that a lot of people are saying that music is way too distracting in the videos. So I changed that up, and then the comments disappeared about that. So that's good. I improved the video. And also I asked the client, well, what do they think, and they actually did agree. The thing about clients is when they give you revisions, first of all, they probably can't do it just because they aren't editors themselves, but also they don't really want to do it because they would rather have a good video in time rather than perfect video that was delivered late. But anyway, what they aren't going to be doing, what I'm talking about, is they aren't going to be giving you those very specific revisions, especially high-paying clients, that's what I've noticed, very specific revisions that really improve every video by 1%. Usually they're going to be fine with the quality that you're delivering, and they're gonna just leave this part to you where you need to figure out how to make videos a tiny bit better every single time. So it is really your job to go out of your way and to get feedback from, I mean, obviously you have me, so you're sending your edits to me, but that's a separate point. Go out of your way and rewatch the videos from the viewer's perspective and look at YouTube comments, because that's just going to give you more, I guess, data on what you can improve, and that's really helpful. Do any of you guys rewatch your older videos? Because I feel like that's actually such a good advice. Like it helped me a ton.
Yeah, I had this kind of experience where like exactly one guy was commenting on the videos, on the dance videos, that he was watching from phone, and the quality and sound volume was very low. And then I checked, and it was like under 10 decibels. It was very low, but like no one really noticed it, like my client.
Yeah, clients usually just
Yeah.
wouldn't say stuff. I mean, here it's pretty obvious, so I would guess that they would say that to you, but they didn't, just because really, like I said a bit earlier, we kind of talked about this, where clients usually, when stuff is really good, they notice that it's good because it just kind of feels nicer and everything, and that helps with your relationship. But as long as the video is good enough and as long as you're delivering on time, clients are going to be fine with it. It's just issue there is that you aren't building up that leverage for yourself to ask for more money later down the line or start doing something else for them and get paid more money that way. It is really your job to go out of your way and figure out what you can improve to make videos a bit better.
Mhm. Yeah, I increased the volume for the next videos, and that guy's comments disappeared.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you genuinely just improved the videos.
Yeah.
I would also look. I would subtly mention that to the client somehow. Like it can be a message, something similar to, I just decided to look through the YouTube comments, and this guy is saying that the volume is a bit too low. Do you agree with that? And do you think I should kind of make it louder for videos from now on? Because it just shows that you actually care.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, your client, for some weird reason, is probably not going to happen with sound, but with all like other things that might pop up in YouTube comments, your client might want them to be specifically the way that they are now, and it's just kind of a good way to make sure that you're going to do the right thing. Botan said that viewers can be cruel, but to be honest, viewers are usually quite chill. It's usually when something really stands out, then the viewers are gonna talk about it. They're gonna shit on what's being said in the video a lot, but not really about editing. I feel like it's not even that bad for your mental health. Yeah, so this is honestly everything that I wanted to cover. Probably should have made a slide where it combines all 4 pillars. But basically, the 4 pillars that we covered were never miss a deadline, which is just the foundation of everything. Then save them time, because why they hired you in the first place is to make their life easier. And if you can save them as much time as possible, the more time you can save them, the more valuable you are and the more irreplaceable you are as well. Communication and vibe, become friends with them, because people prefer having friends around rather than weird strangers. But when it's time to talk business, lock in and talk business. And finally, just improve with every single video. That's going to be really good for your personal benefit, because you're going to improve and land better clients. But also, it's going to help you build a relationship, actually.
I think the thing I would add is to keep them updated once a day or once in 2 days.
I think it depends on the actual client relationship that you have going on. If you've been working with them for a while and they trust you already and everything, and you know that you're on track, if you are off track, this is something I should have mentioned. If you are messing up the deadline, then you should communicate that. But if they trust you already and you know that you're gonna deliver this video on time, then it's just kind of gonna save them time if you don't message them, if that makes sense. But to be fair, I never really did it all that much with my long-term clients. When you just start working together, then yeah, you can, and especially if they're kind of ADHD about everything, then yeah, you can be updating them. And this is also why if for the first video you send the intro first, literally the same exact reason, because you can't really trust yourself for these specific videos. They trust you because they gave you your money, but you aren't sure yourself that they're gonna like it. So you just wanna make sure. And the same thing I would say with communicating the deadlines. Understanding the deepest pain points. I feel like Timo, we touched a lot on that. Raise prices. Yeah, basically the whole idea of this is really to raise prices. And again, Luca just goes back to the actual client, because I know what you meant there. Managing expectations and deadlines too from Panda. I would say probably should have added that in the communication. Just being kind of honest about everything, which is a big part. Like not setting unrealistic expectations for yourself and kind of communicating that with the client. Jason, what do you want to say?
So this point is even just like having your discovery call with a client. How do you connect with them without it initially being like quite forced? Say, for example, you're trying to find a common like point or common ground. How would you fucking hell, Marty? How would you do that without like
honestly, it's a really good question. The small talk is always awkward there. Like really, you're gonna like Jason, you're not an awkward guy. Plus, you are native at English. I feel like some of the problems come if you're just not native at English and you aren't used to speaking in English, because then your awkwardness kind of doubles. But Jason, you're not an awkward guy at all. You're native at English, so for you, the fact that small talk is a bit awkward at the beginning is just how it is always, pretty much. Really, on those discovery calls, what I would focus more on is if you are a good fit together in terms of working in general, in terms of the actual, not well, like we talked about in the communication thing, not the chit chat part. If you're good there, because you are gonna become friends eventually by just talking to each other for long enough. You're gonna find out all these common points about each other and become kind of friends. But you need to figure out if you are actually good at doing business together. And it's not really that hard to sell yourself as an editor, because there are so many pain points like we talked about today that people are experiencing. So just trying to be helpful, figuring out stuff like what are they're trying to do with YouTube, how consistently they're trying to upload, what style they're looking for, what's going to be the deadlines, turnaround time, what's your availability like. So making sure all those logistics align, and if they do, they're basically sold on you, because they have all these crazy pain points where they're wasting like tens of hours a week trying to consistently upload videos. So really, if the business stuff aligns, then you're gonna start working together, and the chit chat part is just gonna come through naturally.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No worries. Timo.
Yo, so my question was maybe more of a outreach. If I'm outreaching, of course, like I can check like, okay, does their video get views versus subscriber count, or like do they get a lot of sales or stuff like that? Like those kind of pain points, like how could you determine yourself the best way? Like what is their actual pain point? Like do they actually want better visuals on their videos, or like what is their, so they want to hire you? Of course you can like say to them like, oh yeah, I can make your visuals better, but if they in mind they want more sales, like they don't give a shit about like visuals, like what's your thought process on that?
Yeah, but you can just tell that by, you're gonna see their YouTube, and first of all, you're gonna see, are they uploading consistently? If they are, which most likely they won't, but let's say they are, then you open up a video and it looks kind of shit. And then you see the description, the first link is to their product that they're trying to sell in the videos. So obviously they couldn't care less about how videos look like as long as they're driving sales. Like the main pain point is never how videos look like or consistent upload schedule. The main pain point is that really they're trying to take their girlfriend on a cool vacation and they aren't making enough money for that.
And so basically, like, let's say if the videos do look like they could be improved visually or communicate that, oh yeah, like we could do this, which would lead to the sales, for example.
Yeah, I would just yeah. You should tie it in the outreach
Yeah.
specifically on the discovery call and stuff like that, because I think it's just gonna sound salesy. If you are good at this stuff, then you can talk about it. But if you don't want to sound salesy, then just ask them what are your goals with YouTube, and they're gonna tell themselves, oh yeah, I'm really trying to run up my business, and then it's just gonna become apparent that I should be uploading weekly, but I'm uploading once a month because my current editor sucks. And then you're just not salesy
Yeah.
because all you do is you're just saying, oh yeah, I can actually deliver on time and consistently.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right, so that's the framework. Now look, editors inside Full-Time Editor who were on the call live, they're already implementing this stuff. They got their specific questions answered, and I'm helping them navigate their exact situations every week. If you're serious about scaling past 1K per month and want my personalized help to make this actually happen, we need to talk. I only work with editors who are ready to level up right now. Not someday, not next year, but now. So if that sounds like you, use the first link in the description to book a call with me. We'll figure out exactly what's keeping you stuck and whether Full-Time Editor is the right fit to get you to that 5 to 10K per month mark. Either way, go ahead and start implementing the 4-pillar framework you just learned and absolutely skyrocket your client relationships. Trust me, it actually works.